Hey, 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 welcome to another Philly Gives Back. In this episode, we're highlighting two nonprofits, as usual, who are making an incredible impact in Philadelphia. Coming up, Yes and Collaborative Arts gives us a sneak peek into a rehearsal for an upcoming performance, all while sharing what they do. Treehouse Books tells us all about their location and what programs they offer. And of course, we have a special guest from Treehouse Books to tell us even more. Stay tuned. Welcome to Philly Gives Back. I'm your host, Hannah Belkowski, and today we will be highlighting two nonprofits that are supporting the Philadelphia community. The two nonprofits are Yes and Collaborative Arts and Treehouse Books. Our first nonprofit creates community through performing arts experiences. Yes and Collaborative Arts has many programs focused on creativity and skill through the arts. Associate producer Donnie Argo and crew member Lucas Alvin went to see a rehearsal for Yes and's upcoming performance called All Hands on Deck. I wonder what the show's about. If you're wondering the same thing, well, let's take a look.
Sure. So, Yes and Collaborative Arts is a youth-centered organization that creates community through performing arts experiences. Our arts education programs for youth in kindergarten through 12th grade utilize our intentional community building pedagogy. We focus on amplifying the voices of our students and their stories and nurture their agency to help them create change in their current and future communities. We offer three programs here at Yes and. Our biggest one is our summer camp. We offer a theater camp for kids in 5th through 8th grade, an imagination camp for kindergarten through 4th grade. We also then have our Sort of Thing program. We do a winter sort of thing and a summer sort of thing, and that's our original musical theater program. And then finally, we have Shadow Company, which is for our high school students. It's a year-round artist training and creation program where we really focus on leadership skills and really intense arts training.
I have started at Yes and just last summer, so I've only done Shadow Camp and Winter Sort of Thing.
I like either Shadow or Winter sort of thing. I like putting on like full stage productions.
So, what goes into creating a show is a lot of pre planning. You have to have your designers, you have to have your costume designer, your director, your sound designer, depending on how you're going to do it, lighting designer, set designer, which are the people out there, your director, of course, who has to have the vision. And then you start talking about what is the show, who all do we need to cast, where will it be, what will they wear, things like that. And then you do rehearsal schedules, and then you receive everyone's conflicts, then you schedule around those conflicts, and then eventually the show goes up after much, much rehearsal.
The show we are working on tonight is All Hands on Deck.
It is a production about imaginary friends.
And pies.
And pirates who want to steal the moon.
It is a wild and wacky show.
Plays like this, the musicals are only twice a year. So this is like the fully realized musical. But the summer sort of things are outdoors, which is different. And they sort of rehearse, I think, in the span of 3 to 4 weeks. So it's a much shorter process. And I think the plays are also shorter too. So those particular plays are only really like twice a year. And then the teens have their own plays. And usually there's a play at the end of each session.
So, Yes and Collaborative Arts was actually started by a group of college kids at what is now Eastern University out in Wayne, Pennsylvania. They were working with their college professor who had been utilizing this community building pedagogy with students in the arts and sort of handed it over because they were really passionate about the work that they wanted to do in the world. And so that very first summer in 1998, they held a 4-week theater camp where they brought together kids from the main line and then kids from inner city Philadelphia to work together for the first ever middle school theater camp. And here we are 25 years later, still operating under the same mission and ideals that they started with. There is a lot in our core to unpack, but I think if you really look at our core, you can see some specific threads that are woven through. One is that for us, the work and the excitement and the impact really happens in the process. So it's great to do a performance and have an end of camp showing and celebrate those things. We always want to celebrate them, but for us, the real fruit of what we do is seen in the process of creating together, what the relationships that are built along the way. You'll also see that we are really passionate about imagination and creativity across all levels of our organization, from our kids all the way up through our staff and our board of directors. We believe really passionately that we are imaginative people and that our world's a better place when we can be creative and imagine. And then I think finally what you'll see is just that we are really passionate about getting as many different types of people in the room, and that the experience is richer when it's full of more people that come from different experiences and backgrounds, and that we work really hard to make sure that that's actually possible in a lot of different ways. Things that we kind of focus on with being our name. The first is just realizing how important it is to validate each other's ideas, but also to bring our own unique perspective, and that our stories are so much richer and so much more exciting when we are all contributing to those stories. The second is sort of that we encourage kids to bring their wild and craziest dreams and imaginations, and so we say yes to those wild and crazy imaginations, and we provide them with support to help those crazy imaginations come to life in a new way.
This organization is really important because we're one of the few that specifically do what we do in terms of teaching collaborative theater making. There are a lot of theater camps who specialize in teaching more traditional theater, but here we focus on what the children can create and how to give them the tools to finalize that and polish it and really expand that through working together, which is a very specific thing. We only do original works here. And we're all about being silly and having fun and being ridiculous and things like that. And on top of that, we really value being accessible. So one of the things that I really love about our organization is that we offer camperships for kids who may not be able to pay the full tuition or any tuition at all. They can apply for the campership and then they can come to camp and not have to worry about financial burden. So that's one thing that I really love about us.
So our kids get a lot out of our programs. They get lots of different artistic skills across the board in all different disciplines, from dance to theater to music to creative writing, visual arts. And they are taught by local professionals in all of their artistic fields. And then I think finally something else they get out of it is community and relationships and feeling like they belong. We keep hearing study after study after study about what our kids are lacking these days and how much they're struggling. And so to have a place where they feel that they can be their authentic selves or discover their authentic selves and that they belong is really important and something that I think a lot of kids get out of our programs.
I've learned a lot about acting, which I didn't know a lot of before. And yeah, I've learned a lot about the other people here and just community.
And I've learned to grow as an actor and develop my skills. And I've also learned about directing and other things that I wouldn't think that I would learn here.
It's very simple to get involved with Yes And. We pretty much take people whenever they want to come hang out with us. You can check out our website, which has a lot of really great information about our organization. There's ways to sign up on the newsletter. You can always email us or give us a call, and we are, happy to take anyone who wants to help out on any level.
I love Yes And. Just it's the general vibe around here is really fun, and the people here are great, and staff are fantastic.
I love it here because I can actually embrace acting, and I'll get my acting career out there.
I really love our emphasis on being ridiculous, and being silly, and like just seeing how far the bit can go or the idea can go. So I'd say that's my favorite part.
So we're a 501c3 organization, so we rely on support from individuals and foundations and corporations to run all of our programs. Like I said, we try to have a diverse group of students, and so one of the ways that that's possible is through our scholarship fund. And so every year, 50% or more of our students receive some level of tuition assistance to attend our programs. And that is only funded because of the generosity of individuals and foundations who believe in our work and our mission. You can donate online through our website. If you go to yesandcamp.org/donations, there's multiple ways that you can donate through PayPal and Venmo, cash, check, all those fun different ways.
I have no doubt when I'm scared to death. You guard the door. I should take this time to tell you.
Growing up as a somewhat theater kid, if you will, this organization seems so special and has some amazing programs to help students express their creativity and performance skills. To hear more about these programs, be sure to check out their website at yesandcamp.org. And if Yes And needs an understudy for that draft in their upcoming play, I once played a rock lobster in Alice in Wonderland, so give me a call. Our second nonprofit helps provide access to books and encourages literacy all around Philly. They provide free books to children and families and have programs to increase literacy skills. I visited their location to hear from staff members and teachers all about their programs and what they offer. Check it out. We are here outside of Treehouse Books here in Philadelphia, and we're going to go take a look inside, see what kind of books they have and the programs they offer.
Traditional library spaces are wonderful. Academic library spaces, they serve a purpose, but what we do is meet the needs of the community that we sit in directly. Libraries can be intimidating. They can be gorgeous and amazing, but they can also be really intimidating, and sometimes you can't always find what you want, and then sometimes you want to keep the book, and that's not always feasible. Here, if there's something that you come across that you love, you get to keep it and build your library.
We have stuff for all ages, birth through, forever. We try and get in as much diverse stuff as possible. We have a full section specifically highlighting Black authors and Black history and Black characters, but we also want like tons of other, things in here as well, and highlighting, every culture. We want to make sure that there's, I guess the phrase is windows and mirrors, and also that there's popular things that people want to read as well. So really listening to visitors coming in and trying to fill the shelves with those requests. When the building was first discovered, it was abandoned. There was a tree growing out of it. So that's where they came up with the name Treehouse Books. And the people long before I was here who built it made sure to have an actual treehouse in here where kids can hang out in, take books up, and just like kind of a cozy space. We have board books as well that's specifically for babies 0 to 3 so that they can really hold on to the books, grasp them, and without tearing up the pages.
The program that I run is an after-school literacy-based program that runs Monday through Thursday for students K through 8, 3 to 6 p.m. And then on Fridays, I have 8th graders and high school age students. Them just discovering themselves, their growing appetites for reading, watching them finish a book, watching them realize that they finished a book, having them connect the dots throughout the people that we were learning about was fun to watch and fun to experience.
I think my favorite part is really just getting to interact with people so much throughout the day. It's really like an awesome, way to spend time at work, is just meeting new people, talking about books, helping people discover a love of books for all ages. And also I love just getting to like be around books and look through books all day, which is really nice. Specifically in Philadelphia, there is like a sense of like pride and love for the city and community that like this place just kind of brings people in.
It's environmentally friendly, so a lot of times people are cleaning out their homes, and instead of throwing books away, they'll come and donate them here. And we've come across some really great gems.
Public school funding struggles, so there's often lack of resources and ability to have books in schools. Helping to fill that gap is super important.
It provides a radical kind of service, and it meets needs radically on like multiple levels. This space allows people to explore literacy on all levels, no matter what.
We had such a great time here at Treehouse Books, but we're gonna head back to the studio for even more information. When I first stepped inside the Treehouse Books location, it was like a book lover's paradise. It was so cute inside, especially the indoor treehouse. They also have so many programs and ways they give back to the community. I was curious to hear more about it, so I invited Naima Khan, the Managing Director of Operations and Outreach, to the studio to tell us more. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, let's jump right on into it. What is Treehouse Books?
So Treehouse Books, I like to call it a hub. In North Philly, we are a nonprofit organization that wants to give everybody access to free books and the opportunity to pursue their dreams. So one of the ways that we do that is we have a giving library. That giving library gives people access from the community and surrounding areas, the schools and other local nonprofits, to come in, look at our books, and then check them out. The great thing about Treehouse is not like a regular library, but you get to keep the books and build your own library at home. So that's just, some of the things we do. We also consider ourselves a safe space. We have an after-school program where kids can come from 3 to 6. We do literacy enrichment programs, fun activities for the kids, just to build up their, confidence in the skill sets. We also have programs that teach them how to read and be the people that they are destined to be. So we're really proud about the work that we do in the community.
Yeah, I mean, when I first walked in, it was just amazing to see all of the books that you guys have accumulated, and you have a section dedicated to Black authors. Can you talk a little bit about how you celebrate those authors?
We celebrate those authors. Basically, when you think about the communities that we serve and how authentic it is in North Philly and other communities, those kids that come into the Giving Library are able to see people that look like them and read and learn about them. And I know that Ms. Shakira, who's our lead teacher, she highlights those authors, and the kids ask questions, and then they think of things that they want to be when they grow up. So, that section is very important. It's imperative to have, and we welcome the kids as they go over, because a lot of times they want to go to the Harry Potter books, or they want to go to, some of the comic books, but we encourage them to go over and take a look at some of those other authors and read and learn about those Black authors. So it's really important to have there. To see the older kids go over, grab a book, and then go up you saw when you were in there, the little tree house, and go up there and read. It's just amazing to see.
Yeah, and we were talking about this a little bit before. So you celebrate, the different months. So you celebrated Black History Month. How are you guys celebrating Women's History Month?
So Women's History Month, Shakira talks about different, authors that are women, lady authors. But she also celebrates the kids as they come in, and she brings other people from the community, some authors or some people that do other great things in the community. One of the things that I think she does really well is bringing people in that the kids want to learn about. She brought a really good coach in that taught some kids from some of the surrounding areas, some of the schools. Not sure of the school. I think it was Dobbins or one of those schools like that. But bringing them in and just letting the kids know that you can become, you know, whatever you want. You know, if you just start right there. So just basically celebrating the women that are in the community and doing stuff right in that community right there.
Right. And so you guys have a lot of events. Can you tell us a little bit about some of them?
Yeah, so one of the events that is really cool that's coming up is something that we do called book swaps, where we go to, it's called Temple Gardens, which is a really nice open space. We have different book vendors and our bookmobile is there, and people can bring books and swap books. There's a DJ, there's food and music, and people get to come out that love literacy and learn more about like different authors. So a lot of times they bring their old books and swap them for new books. But you know, someone's trash is another person's treasure. So when they're swapping the books, they're able to get new books to build, continue to build up their library. Some of the other events that we do is something called Philadelphia Literacy Day. We do that in September. Philadelphia Literacy Day is when we bring local authors out. They set up tables, we do local vendors. Our last event that we had was a non-violence event. It was called Books Not Bullets. So it was a call to action for all the violence that's happening in the city. We had the Double Dutch team come out, we had butterflies, we had a drill team. It was just a day of fun and community where people could come out, learn about local authors, learn about how to be an author, learn about what we do in the community as Treehouse as a safe space, learn about our programs, and just give people some free stuff. So they really, really enjoyed that. Some of the other programs that we do is Words on Wheels. We do have some families that don't have access to maybe a car or ways to get out to get to Treehouse. So we actually take the books to them directly to their homes, which I think is an amazing way to bring literacy from Treehouse into their houses, you know, so that they don't have to get out. And lastly, we, like I said, we always offer literacy enrichment programs. But one of the things that I think is awesome is our mobile Treemobile, which is mobile. Cameron runs that. He goes out to different schools, different locations, and takes hundreds of books out weekly to different schools and daycare. So that's one of the other things that we do.
Yeah, so I want to talk more about this bookmobile. So it's just like a van and there's shelves in the back. It's like a library on wheels, right?
Yeah, so it's this really nice bookmobile. It's really decorated, really pretty inside. It has like flowers and really nice bookshelves. When you see it and you step in, it's like magical, whimsical. So like the kids really, really love it. And then you have Cameron, who's this like loving, tall, tall guy. So he's like funny. He does like this elevator thing where he like lifts the kids up and down. But it's books in there. Like they have multiple shelves, and each shelf has something different. So he talks to the kids about like the books that they like. They're able to check those books out and then take those books home. So it's really, really cool. I think a lot of people like it because, like you said, it's on wheels. Like you don't really get to see a lot of moving libraries, and then, you know, have fun stuff on it. So it's cool. It's carpeted, has these really pretty lights. So like at night, you can kind of like see it light up. So it's really, really magical.
Yeah, that's something that's definitely unique, and you don't see that, you know, with other bookstores or libraries and things like that. So you have the book of the month. That's kind of a thing that you guys do. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah,
so we wanted to do something that could get other people involved in like what we're doing at Treehouse and give them the opportunity to kind of read the books that we're reading. So Kai is actually running that. Kai used to work with Treehouse and then started to work with us again. So Kai is going to be doing our book of the month. Kai will pick different books that she reads, tell us a little bit about them, give us like the background story as to why she picked it, and then we share it on our social sites. We then give people the opportunity to purchase those books and give other people the opportunity to own the books and learn and read about it. And I think it's a really cool thing because local authors they hear about the books and they want to come out or, you know, not only read to some of the kids in the community, but also bring and donate books so that we can also share them as our books of the month. So Kai has picked some amazing authors, some books that really have inspired and touched her, and then we're going to share them with everybody on our socials. So if you stay tuned and look, you'll see each month what books we're reading.
That's awesome. And so you were talking about donations. How can people donate? What's the process of that like?
So the process is, so you met Emma. Emma is like our book director. She kind of monitors that section of the Giving Library. So anybody that wants to donate books, you can call in or you can send an email, you know, at treehousebooks.org. Go onto our website and you will basically bring the books then into Treehouse and Emma will take it from there. We also allow people to do, we do like book drives. So let's say a school calls and they're having a play, and during the play, the entrance into the play is collecting books. Or we work with different sports organizations, like when the Eagles were going to the Super Bowl, we did like an Eagles theme. So there's different ways that you can donate books to Treehouse. And then we just have people that ride by that like clean out their attics, and they say, hey, we have all these great books, and then they'll bring those by, and Emma goes through all of them. And then she puts them into different sections. And as you saw, she knows, like, she knows that book, the book store like the back of her hand. So it definitely works.
Yeah, she knows everything in and out. So that's awesome. And do you have volunteer opportunities for people?
Yeah, so we actually do have volunteer opportunities. We like to give back to the community. So we have different ways that you can volunteer. You can come in like as a team and kind of do some of the book stamping. You can also come in and help in our after school program, helping the kids read books, helping with homework help. Helping Miss Shakira. We have volunteer opportunities where you can intern, learn about outreach with me, or learn about grant writing and how to run the organization with Michael, who's our executive director. And then we also have people that want to come back and help create, I call them like community bags that may be filled with like toiletries for people in need. We do have a lot of people that come in that are homeless or don't have anywhere to go, and like I said, it's our safe space. So those are ways that you can give back. And then lastly, we have our Temple group. We have some Temple students that, you know, want to give back into the community because they go to Temple. So they come over and they donate their time, you know, just giving back.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm definitely have to go through my books and donate some.
Oh yeah, we take everything. We take everything except for encyclopedias.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Well, other than that, everyone at home can donate.
Right.
I love reading when I have the time, just like so many other people. But not everyone has access to books, so if you are passionate about reading and literacy, this is definitely the nonprofit for you. You can learn more on their website, treehousebooks.org. And a huge thank you to Naima for sharing all the details about Treehouse Books. All this talk about reading is making me want to pick up a book and just relax. It's perfect timing because our show is coming to an end. We got a lot of info on these two wonderful organizations, thanks to both Yes and Collaborative Arts and Treehouse Books for sharing their time and knowledge. It's organizations like these that really make Philadelphia the city of brotherly love. And if you want to see some behind the scenes of Philly Gives Back, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Philly Gives Back LTV. For LTV's Philly Gives Back, I'm Hannah Balkowski, and we'll see you next time.